Over the last 8 years, I've watched thousands of investing videos. Most of them I've completely forgotten, but every time I come across one that generally changes the way I think about investing, I actually save it to my bookmarks, and I've now built a collection of over 100 great investing videos. And today I'm going to share the main tips from those that actually matter. Some of these tips are going to save you tens of thousands of pounds over your investing lifetime if you get them right, so let's get into it. Tip number one is to simply just invest your first £100. Now I know what you're thinking, investing just £100 isn't going to make you rich. That's not the point here. Making your first investment isn't about making money, it's about getting over that fear of investing in the first place. Before I made my first investment, I'd actually spent years before that putting it off because I too was both scared and overwhelmed about the concept of investing. But once I made that first £100 investment, all of that seemed to just go out the window, because not only does investing your first £100 teaches you the basics like buying and selling a stock, opening up an account, it also teaches you when the market changes how that affects your portfolio as well. Tip number two is your contributions matter more than your returns at the start. This is because realistically, what is going to happen with a small portfolio is going to have very little effect on your returns in the long run. For example, let's say you only had £5,000 invested and the stock market had a fantastic year and it went up 10%. That's only going to be a £500 gain. But let's say you can consistently invest your money every single month, and after years you manage to build your portfolio up to £100,000, and once again the stock market has another great year, goes up 10%, that's going to be a £10,000 gain, something that's going to make a much bigger difference to your portfolio. Now of course it doesn't take a genius to work out that's because you've got a bigger portfolio, so the returns are going to be much greater, but the only way you are going to get there is by contributing more money instead of worrying about those small returns at the start. Tip number three is to keep your fees low. This is because how much you're paying in fees is actually one of the only things that you can control when it comes to investing, and it's often overlooked, and it can have a major effect on your future returns. Now of course there will be some fees out there that you just simply can't avoid, such as stamp duty on UK shares and ETF ongoing charges, but one that you have full control over is how much you're paying your provider in terms of platform fees. Ideally, the best option is to go with somebody that offers both commission-free investing and zero platform fees. This did actually used to be hard to come by, but as competition has got fiercer in this space, there are now actually lots of great providers that offer this. The platform that I currently use is Trading212, and right now they're currently offering a free fractional share worth up to £100 to anybody that signs up to the platform and deposits £1. There's a QR code on screen right now or a link in the description. These will both take you where exactly you need to go, or if you have already downloaded the app, you can go to the promo code section, enter code FELLAS, and as long as you do it within the first 10 days, you'll still get your free fractional share. Tip number four is to always invest inside a tax advantage account. In the UK, there are two tax advantage accounts that matter most for long-term investors. The first is the Stocks and Shares ISA. This essentially allows you to invest up to £20,000 every single tax year, and any money that you make from your investments when you sell will be completely protected from capital gains tax, and any dividends that you receive along the way as well will also be protected from any kinds of dividend tax. The second account is the self-invested personal pension. With this account, you can actually invest up to £60,000 every single year. You'll still get the same benefits as the Stocks and Shares ISA. The only main difference is, because it is a pension, you won't be able to access this money until you reach pension age, which in the UK is currently 57. One benefit this account does have over the ISA is that whilst it's not quite as flexible, the money that you put in is actually going to be tax deductible, and the money that you can save is all going to depend on which income tax band you're on. I personally like to use both because I have a goal of retiring early at the age of 50, and I'll be able to use my ISA funds before I reach my retirement age, and when I do reach that time, I should have a nice pot in my retirement fund as well. Tip number five is to understand the difference between buying an individual stock and buying an ETF. When you buy an individual stock, you're essentially becoming a part owner of that one business that you're buying into. For example, if you invest into Apple stock, you're going to own a very, very small slice of the Apple company. Now, when you buy an ETF, the main difference is that instead of investing into just one company, you're investing into hundreds or potentially even thousands of different companies, all within one single investment. For example, this ETF right here tracks the S&P 500, which is the largest 500 companies in North America. And every single time you buy one share of this investment, that money is spread between those 500 companies. This is a more passive way of investing, and one that I personally do myself. There isn't a right or wrong way to do this, and there isn't nothing to say that you can have a mixture of both of these in your investing portfolio. But this does lead me to tip number 6, which is, for most people, passive investing is going to outperform active investing in the long run. This is because with this way, instead of trying to be an expert and time the market and research the best stocks, all you do is just buy an entire market and just invest every single month. You don't need to worry about the best time to sell. You don't need to worry about what a stock is going to do over the next couple of months. All you need to worry about is turning up consistently, and over time, averages will do their thing. For example, this S&P 500 fund is averaged around 10.5% every single year over the last 30 years, which means a £10,000 lump sum investment nearly 30 years ago would have grown to almost £200,000 simply just by leaving it and staying invested. And just seeing something like this actually taught me one of the biggest lessons when it comes to long-term investing, and that is simply sometimes the hardest thing to do isn't knowing what to do, it's just simply sitting still and doing nothing. Which is, I guess, is a nice lead into tip number 7, which is to always invest for the long term. This is because regardless of the way that you choose to invest, whether it's ETFs, individual stocks, or a mix of them both, you should always be investing for the long term. Investing is a marathon and not a sprint, and you should always be aiming for at least a 5-year time horizon, if not 10 or 20 years, if your time on earth allows you to do so, because at the end of the day, whilst investing for the long term will not only give you a better chance of making more money, it will also reduce your risk along the way as well. Just using some past data again, this chart right here shows the chances of you losing money if you invested into a US broad stock market index like the S&P 500. And as you can see, if you did buy and sell in just one single month, it's almost a coin flip. But then as time goes on, it drops a little bit every single year. And when you get up to the 5, 10, or even 20 years, the chances of you losing money drops to as little as 0.1%. This is actually because if you do look at the S&P 500 over a 20-year period, even if the stock market has crashed the worst it's ever crashed, it has never failed to recover to a new all-time high within a 20-year period. Tip number 8 is to automate as much as you can. This one's a big one because for me, investing should be a habit and not just a 1 or 2 time event that you do in your lifetime. And the quicker you can integrate this into your everyday life, the easier it all becomes, and automating is a way you can absolutely do that. One of the first things you can do is set up automatic deposits. If you do use Trading 212, they have a recurring investments feature where you can invest every single month with as little as £1 and have it all happen automatically for you. And then the next way is, if you are investing into something like a fund, is to always go for an accumulating fund rather than a distributing one. This is because with an accumulation fund, any dividends paid out to you will be automatically reinvested into that fund, and that's only going to speed up compounding. Whereas with a distribution fund, that dividend is going to be paid into your investing account as cash. Then it's going to be up to you to manually take that cash and then reinvest it or keep it, and it's just going to add another job onto your investing. What my current setup right now looks like is £500 automatically going from my personal bank into my stocks and shares ISA on the 1st of every single month. I also then have £1,000 from my business going to my self-invested personal pension, and then any spare money that I do come across throughout the remainder of that month, I do invest manually. So they're the main tips that I wanted to share, but I do have some other ones that I do want to use as a quick fire tip because I am conscious of the length of this video. Tip number 9 is to only invest money that you can afford to. If you are investing money that you know you're going to take out in the future, not only is this going to interrupt compounding when you actually take it out, but it's also going to introduce emotions into your investing. Tip number 10 is to build up an emergency fund of cash outside of your investments before you start investing. This kind of links to the last tip because if you have that separate pot, if anything does come up that's unexpected throughout the month, you know you've got that to lean on instead of dipping into your investments. Tip number 11 is to stop checking your portfolio every single day. This is way easier said than done, and I'm a big culprit for it myself, but the more you check it, the more emotions once again you bring into your investing. If the stock market is having a good month, you may get overconfident, but if the stock market is crashing, you may introduce panic, and that could cause some panic selling as well. Tip number 12 is to also avoid following financial news every single day. Staying informed and up to date is one thing, but keeping up to date with those fear-mongering headlines or maybe even FOMO causing headlines is only going to lead to bad decisions. And then finally, tip number 13 is to be very careful about what content you are consuming on the internet, because whilst there is a lot of content out there, over the last 8 years, like I said, I've watched thousands of investing videos, and the biggest mistake I made at the start was only watching content from American YouTubers that were talking about ETFs that I couldn't even physically buy myself. So my recommendation here is to follow investors and creators that are based in the same country as you, because at the end of the day, the information you're going to get from from them is going to be most accurate and relevant to your situation, and also try your best to follow those whose investing goals closest align with the ones that you have as well. For me, that's all about investing into a globally diversified portfolio for the long term, so if that interests you as well, then consider subscribing. But other than that, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to grab your free fractional share from Trading 212 and come back and let me know which one you got, and I will see you in the next one.